Hey, Draymond, Jeremy's first opportunity with Team USA. What have you seen from him from afar, his first year with the Pistons, and just your overall impressions with him this last year?
I think the growth in his game has been incredible. I still remember the days in Philly of the scouting report being, hey, he downhill and he's Euro stepping every time, and playing off of him, giving him the shot, and to watch, his journey. He's one of the guys in the NBA now, and all-star, just an incredible year. And then going to Pistons, obviously I always watch the Pistons. I'm from Michigan. And, what he went there, what he's gone there and done is incredible. One of the most improved players in this league for sure. And, coming out here, it's very easy for a guy, especially a guy like Jeremy, who hasn't been at that level for as long as a Kevin Durant, for as long as, a Damian Lillard. It's very easy for a guy to come in and just take a back seat to those guys. He's came in, he's been aggressive, playing with extreme energy, and it's going to be a huge part and, play a huge role in us winning the gold.
Thank you, James. We'll go with Nathan after next.
Nathan, what's up, man?
What's going on, Dede?
Man, it's good to see you. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Two-part question for you, my guy. How excited are you to be a part of Team USA, and can we expect, a little bit of the trash talking against some of the competition,
I'm extremely excited to be here. It's like every time I've played with Team USA, in my mind, I'm like, man, that's my last opportunity, but you just continue to put the work in, and, anytime, we're here, it's an honor. You're amongst some of the best players in the world. And, having the opportunity to share the floor, go defend our gold medals is incredible. Obviously, everyone always wants to beat USA, and we understand that, so to go and defend, our country in the way that we can is incredible. And so it's always an honor to be here. And I don't know how to play without talking. That's just who I am. I grew up that way in Saginaw, as you know. That's just a way of life for me.
Thank you. Marcus Thompson, you're up, and then we'll go to Tyler Tackman.
And you're not happy to see me, Draymond?
I don't see you. I saw Nathan right here on this screen. I don't see you. Marcus Thompson is a really common name.
Hey, two questions for you. One, did you try to get Steph to join you for his first Team USA experience? And secondly, how are you gonna pick, number 7 and number 14 for the Warriors if you playing basketball with Team USA?
Me and Steph have a great understanding, which is a part of our chemistry and part of our relationship. I understand him. I don't need to try to push him to play for Team USA because I already know the reasons why. And I don't need to try to come in between those reasons. So, no, I did not. I asked him, was he playing? He said no. That was the end of the conversation. And as far as 7 and 14, we all worked from home for a year. It's possible, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, the guys are back there doing all the work, and as they always have, and I'm sure they'll make a good choice. I'll give my input where I can, but I'm trying to win a gold, so it's important.
Thanks, bro.
No doubt.
Tyler, you're up, and then we'll go with
Hey, Draymond, this is Tyler Tashman with the Oregonian. I hope you're doing well. From the perspective of someone that's tried to guard Dame, what is that like, and what makes him such
I feel like
a
you just disrespected me, someone who tried to guard Dame. That's crazy. No, I'm just fine. Go ahead.
I just like what is it from your perspective, like what is it what makes him such a great competitor and someone so difficult to guard?
I think, we all know that Dame has carried a huge chip on his shoulder from, being a guy who was not recruited by many high majors. If maybe one or two, going to Weber State, coming into the draft, and a lot of people knowing like, hey, this guy is good, but doubting him because he went to a small school. The story goes on and on. I think one of the great things about Dame is he still carries that chip on his shoulder, but the way you carry a chip on your shoulder, you can't carry the same chip on your shoulder that you had as a rookie, as a second. Like, you have to learn how to wear that chip differently. And one of the most powerful things about Dame is he continues to wear that chip on his shoulder, but know how to wear it. And obviously one of the best shooters in our game, one of the most prolific scorers in our game, and also an incredible leader, an incredible point guard. When you from Oakland and he embodies that, he carries that, he carries that toughness. That makes all the difference when he takes the floor.
Where'd you say he was from?
The town.
Thank you.
No problem.
Chris, and then we'll go with Grady Diaz.
Hey, Draymond, how you doing, man? So obviously, laid back Kevin Durant question for you. So Kevin Durant throughout the Nets regular season, you always talk about this passion that he has just for being a hooper, just loving the hoop. So I'm just curious with your thoughts on everything, with obviously your relationship and your experience with Kevin Durant. How would you kind of characterize that love of hooping that he has, or what have you seen from him when it comes to that passion for basketball?
That's who he is. I always tell people there's this very cliche line that everyone uses in basketball when you're working out: go game speed every rep. Quite frankly, I've never seen anyone do it except him that I have had an opportunity to really watch their workout. And, that's how he plays the game. That's how he works. And, you're talking to a guy who would sit at home, sit in his house and watch an elementary school basketball game just to watch basketball. Really, really love the game, love watching the game, student of the game, obviously love hooping. It's an incredible thing. I had no doubt in my mind that he was playing here. And I'm sure everyone tried to talk him out of it, coming off an Achilles injury, all the minutes he just played in the playoffs, had some injuries throughout the year. What I knew and knowing Kevin, that you were going to have to talk him out of playing as opposed to talking him into playing, because he just loved hooping. That's what he lived for. He just want to play basketball. You give him an opportunity to play basketball on this stage, he's never turning it down because he just loves playing.
Appreciate it.
Grady, you're up, and then Tim Reynolds.
Hey, Draymond, congratulations. We got to see what you guys look like in the new uniforms. What are your thoughts on them? And do you have anything in particular that you like about them? That's my first question.
Nike knocked those out the park. Did an incredible job. And I love all the detail in it. I like how the colors are fading in and out. You kind of get a little touch of baby blue in there, which kind of makes the not baby blue, quite baby, but lighter tone blue than normal navy. And it just kind of brings the uniforms to life. So extremely great. As I said yesterday, it's going to look incredible winning the gold in those uniforms. They're amazing. And so I'm excited about them.
And my second question is, you're going to be around some of the best women players in the world with Team USA. Are there any players on that women's team that you're looking forward to watching?
Oh, all of them. When you're fortunate enough to make the Team USA, you're a player. So anytime attended the game last night, the Aces and the Mercury. But then, BG had an incredible game. Asia was incredible. Obviously DT will be there. Sue, all amazing, amazing talents. And so, USA women's has dominated. So having the opportunity to see them play is always incredible. I always look forward to it because as I've said before, you get to really see the fundamentals of the game. And, you know, they have shown year after year that they're the best at it.
Thank you.
Tim, you want to go with Keith Berry?
Thanks, Greg. Hey, Draymond, Tim Reynolds with the AP.
How you
You, if I remember right, I'm not even sure if the World Cup had ended in China. And I remember you were already saying that you wanted to play on the 2020 team. Obviously, it got moved to this year. But you were pretty adamant right from the get-go that you wanted to commit to this team. Why was that? And, you know, after everything's gone on in the world in the last 15, 16 months, why didn't you change your mind? Why did your commitment never waver?
Well, I think when you have an opportunity to play for USA basketball, you do that. At least that's how I feel. And for me, it was a no-brainer. You know, I knew in 2016 that the next Olympics I wanted to play. And, you know, I'm extremely honored to have the opportunity to be here. But it was never a question for me. You know, this is what we work for. You work for the accolades. You work to win. You work to be on top of the world. That's what you put the work in for. And the reality is this year it's a 5-6 week commitment. And you know, looking at it, I can look at it short-sighted and say, 5 or 6 weeks, most of my summer, but it's 5 or 6 weeks. But I looked at it differently. I looked at it as 5 or 6 weeks of the rest of my life. And I'm sure there's several things that I could have done, you know, or several other pockets of 5 to 6 weeks that I can do whatever I would do with these 5 to 6 weeks. But the Olympics aren't one of them. You get one chance every 4 years, in this case 5. And I didn't want to pass up that opportunity. You know, I think as far as, you know, the last 16 months or whatever it's been, I think we all will look back at some point and truly reminisce or, you know, just really try to conceptualize how insane this time has been. But when that time comes, it'll be just that. It'll be what happened back in time, what happened back then. And it'll be a thing of the past. Now, I'm not saying COVID will ever be a thing of the past, because I'm not sure it will be. But this time period will be a thing of the past. That's just how life works. And I don't want to let what's been a hectic 14 or 16 months make me decide against an opportunity that I may never have again in my life. You know, and so it was a no-brainer for me.
Thank you, Draymond.
And we'll do 2 more questions. Keith Berry, and then we'll do Zora Stevenson.
Draymond, Keith Berry, NBC Bay Area, deeply appreciate your time. With the announcement this morning that the Tokyo Games will be held without fans because of the rise in COVID cases. I know everybody here is pro, and I know you've played before. You've played an entire season now without fans. Does it affect the dynamic or the energy of the team at all, and how they address the game?
I don't think it affects us at all. I think, you know, if anything, like you said, we're all used to it. And normally when we go, the whole crowd is cheering against us. So if anything, it may help us. Because everybody's normally pulling to see us lose. And, you know, you get a lot of these countries that really feed off their crowd, you know, and you'll have other countries coming to support those countries to beat us. And so if anything, it may help us. It's unfortunate, obviously, you know, what's happening in Japan, the cases are rising. You hate to see it happen. But just from a pure basketball standpoint, I don't think it gives us a disadvantage, because I mean, for the better part of the last calendar year, most of us has been playing in front of no fans or very little. So I think we'll be accustomed to that, know how to create our own energy. And from a fan standpoint and all the boos and people going against us, maybe it helps.
Final question would be Zora Stevenson.
Hi, Draymond. Zora Stevenson with NBC Sports. Coach Pop was asked about your defense earlier today, and he had a long list of compliments for you, which just included your natural affinity for defense and desire to be great. That's what he said. Why has defense been so enjoyable for you over the years?
Well, number one, when I came, I'm very grateful for those comments from Coach Pop. Obviously, one of the godfathers when it comes to, NBA basketball for sure. When I came into the league, I fell in the draft because their number one question was, what position would I guard? And that stuck with me. And I wanted to make everyone eat those words. Every team that passed me, every reporter, everybody who's ever said anything about my defense at that point, I wanted them to eat them words. And it just became a way of a mindset, a way of life, like it just became a part of who I am. And, fast forward to see what playing great defense can do to a team, to see what playing great defense, how it can completely snatch the confidence of your opponent. That was enough for me because, when you're playing a game of basketball, if you can take the mind, everything else will follow. You can take somebody's mind, if you can take their confidence, if you can get in their head, everything else follows. And, just understand the success that I've been able to contribute to teams by giving all that I have on that side of the ball, that's where it started. And eventually it just became a love of mine. I absolutely love playing. I enjoy it. And I think I enjoy it because I look at every defensive possession as a battle. And I want to win as many of the battles as I can. So it all boils back down to just my competitive spirit and always wanting to win whatever I'm doing.